There's something about this person that I think you need to know, because the energy coming through this reading feels like someone who is carrying a secret they can no longer carry comfortably. Someone who has been thinking about you, someone who has been thinking about what happened between you, and more importantly, someone who's been thinking about the things they said about you, the things they did to you, and the version of the story they created when you weren't around to defend yourself. And I'm going to tell you right now, this reading may not be for everyone, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But if you immediately felt drawn to this reading, if this person popped into your mind the moment you heard me say that, I want you to stay with me, because I feel like there is a very specific reason you are hearing this message right now. There is something about this situation that has not been fully revealed yet, and I think you're about to understand why. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's see what Spirit wants you to know about the person who has been on your mind. Because the first energy coming through is incredibly strong. Shame. This person is ashamed of themselves, and that is one of the first things I need you to understand. They have been thinking about everything they did to you. Every lie, every accusation, every time they twisted the story, every time they made you feel like you were the problem. And I feel like this person knows, deep down, that they were not being honest. They may have told themselves they had a reason. They may have convinced themselves that they were protecting themselves. Maybe they felt threatened. Maybe their pride got involved. Maybe they didn't want other people to see what they had really done. So instead of taking responsibility, they created a story. And that story became bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually they created a situation they can't control anymore. Because when you lie once, sometimes you have to create another lie to protect the first one. And then another and another, until eventually you're standing inside a story that has become impossible to maintain. And I feel like that is where this person is right now. They are trapped inside their own version of events. And the only way out is the truth. Not just telling you the truth, but telling other people the truth. That's the part that scares them. Because I feel like this person has said a lot. They may have talked about you to friends. They may have talked about you to family. They may have told people a completely different version of what happened. They may have made you look like the difficult one, the emotional one, the unstable one, the person who caused the problems, and now they are realizing that the story doesn't hold up anymore. People are starting to notice inconsistencies. People are starting to ask questions, and this person does not know how to answer them. That brings me to another energy coming through very strongly. Fear, panic, anxiety. This person is afraid that the truth is going to come out. And I don't mean a small truth. I mean the truth about what actually happened between the two of you. They are afraid people are going to realize that you were not the person they claimed you were. They are afraid people are going to realize that you were treated unfairly. And most importantly, they are afraid people are going to realize who they really are. Because I feel like this person has spent a lot of time protecting their image. They care about what people think. They care about how they are perceived. They care about appearing innocent. They care about looking like they were the one who had the upper hand. But now, that image is becoming harder and harder to maintain. And every time your name comes up, they react. Maybe they become uncomfortable. Maybe they suddenly change the subject. Maybe they get defensive. Maybe they leave the conversation. Maybe they become irritated and say something like, "Why are we still talking about them?" But the truth is, they don't want to talk about you because there is too much underneath the surface. There is guilt, there is regret, there is fear, and there is something they don't want anyone to discover. I almost feel like people around them are beginning to put the pieces together. They're watching how this person reacts whenever your name is mentioned. They're noticing the defensiveness. They're noticing the nervousness. They're noticing how quickly this person tries to shut the conversation down. And someone may be thinking, wait a minute, if everything they told us was true, why are they reacting like this? That question is important because sometimes the reaction tells people more than the words ever could. And I feel like that is happening here. People are starting to see through them. And meanwhile, you are doing something completely different. You are staying quiet. You are moving forward. You are rebuilding yourself. You are not chasing this person around, trying to convince everyone of your side. You're not begging people to believe you. You're not constantly defending yourself. And that is actually becoming your greatest strength. Because you know the truth. You know what happened. You know what you did and didn't do. And at some point, you reached a place where you simply said, you know what? Believe whatever you want. I know who I am. And that energy is powerful. Because when you stop needing everyone else to validate your truth, you become untouchable. You become grounded. You become confident. And I think this person sees that. They see that you are not falling apart the way they expected you to. They expected you to chase them. They expected you to argue. They expected you to defend yourself. They expected you to keep explaining, but you didn't. You walked away. And that changed everything. Because while this person has been trying to control the narrative, you have been quietly changing your life. You have been growing. You have been healing. You have been becoming stronger. And people are noticing there are people watching you from a distance. People who may have believed this person's version of the story at first, but now they're looking at you and thinking, wait, this doesn't look like the person I was told they were. And that realization is becoming more powerful over time, because your behavior is telling the story for you. You don't have to explain yourself when your actions speak louder than someone else's accusations. And this person, they are beginning to understand that they may have underestimated you. They underestimated your strength. They underestimated your ability to move on. They underestimated your ability to rebuild. And most importantly, they underestimated how quickly people would eventually see through them. I also feel like this person has been isolating themselves. They may not be spending as much time around certain people anymore. They may be avoiding conversations. They may be avoiding social situations because they know questions are coming and they don't have good answers. There is this feeling of, what am I supposed to say now? What am I supposed to tell them? How do I explain this? How do I get myself out of this? And I don't think they can. Not without admitting the truth. And that is what makes this so uncomfortable for them. Because they know they did wrong. They know you didn't deserve what happened. And they know they went too far. I'm also picking up on an energy of regret. Deep regret. This person wishes they could go back. They replay certain moments in their head. They think about conversations. They think about things they said. They think about the way you looked at them. They think about the moment you finally walked away. And I feel like that moment stayed with them. Because you didn't create chaos. You didn't destroy their life. You didn't try to punish them. You simply said, okay, if this is what you want, I'm going to let you have it. And you walked away. And that may have been one of the most powerful things you could have done. Because now they have to live with the consequences of their own choices. There is no one left to blame. At least not in the way they used to be. They can't keep pointing at you forever. Eventually, they have to look at themselves. And I think that is exactly what is happening. They are looking back and realizing, I ruined this. I pushed them away. I hurt someone who didn't deserve it. I created a problem that never needed to exist. And the more they think about it, the worse they feel. There is also an energy here of wanting you back. And I want to be very careful with this part. Because wanting you back and being capable of giving you what you deserve are two completely different things. This person may still want you. They may miss you. They may think about reconnecting. They may imagine what would happen if you came back. But they also know that they created damage. And some damage cannot simply be erased with one apology. That's why I feel like this person is stuck. They want to come toward you, but they don't know how. Because what would they even say? Hey, I know I lied about you. I know I blamed you. I know I made you look like the bad person. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry. Would that be enough? They know it probably wouldn't be. Because the damage didn't only happen between the two of you. There were other people involved. Other people who heard their version. Other people who may have judged you because of what they were told. So if this person genuinely wants to repair the situation, they have to do more than apologize privately. They have to correct the story. They have to tell the truth. They have to admit where they were wrong. And that is terrifying for them. Because it means admitting publicly that they lied. It means admitting that they were the one who caused the damage. It means sacrificing their pride. And I don't think this person is naturally good at doing that. Their ego is strong. Their pride is strong. They may have convinced themselves for a long time that admitting fault would make them weak. But now they are discovering something very different. Sometimes refusing to admit your mistakes is what destroys you. And I think this person is learning that lesson. They are learning that you cannot build peace on top of lies. Eventually, the truth comes looking for you. And when it does, there is nowhere left to hide. I also feel strongly that there may be family involvement here. Family members may start noticing things. Or someone close to this person may eventually confront them. Someone may say, "Something doesn't add up. Tell me what really happened." And this person may become extremely uncomfortable because the more questions people ask, the harder it becomes to maintain the story. And that is why I keep getting this image of someone wanting to disappear, wanting to hide, wanting to avoid everyone, wanting to escape the consequences. But the truth is, you cannot run from your own conscience, and that is what they are dealing with. Their conscience, their guilt, their regret, and their memories of you, because despite everything they did, they miss you. They miss your presence. They miss your energy. They miss the way you made them feel. And I'm getting a very strong message from this person. You were my soulmate. That's a powerful statement. This person may genuinely believe that you were meant to be in their life. They may look back and think, maybe we were supposed to meet. Maybe this connection was meant to change me. Maybe I was given something beautiful and I didn't appreciate it. And that realization hurts, because now they can see what they lost. I also feel the energy of someone seeing you as a queen, someone who is radiant, independent, confident, someone who has a presence that is difficult to ignore. And there is also an energy here that reminds me of the star, hope, healing, admiration, distance. This person may look at you now and realize that you became the version of yourself they always knew you could become, but they are not part of it. And that may be one of the hardest things for them to accept, because you are shining without them. You are healing without them. You are moving forward without them. And the life they thought you couldn't build without them, you are building anyway. There is something else they want you to know. I am incredibly attracted to you. And I don't think this is only physical. They are attracted to your energy, your confidence, your independence, your resilience. The fact that you survived what happened and still managed to become softer in some ways and stronger in others. They remember your smile. They remember your laugh. They remember the little things, the moments they probably took for granted. And now those memories are becoming louder. Because when someone is gone, the little things become the big things. They remember how you made them feel. They remember how the world seemed brighter when you were around. And now they're realizing that they were the person who destroyed that connection. That's where the shame comes in again. Because how do you miss someone you were responsible for losing? How do you tell someone, I miss you, when you were the one who pushed them away? How do you ask for another chance when you know you were given chances before? That is the dilemma this person is facing. And then I hear another message very clearly. I'm afraid of losing you. But honestly, I feel like they already know they may have lost you. They may have chosen someone else. They may have prioritized another relationship. They may have made decisions based on ego, fear, temptation, or outside influence. But whatever the reason, they are realizing that the alternative they chose did not give them what they thought it would. There is an energy here of comparison, and the comparison is not going well for them. They may look at another person and think, she's not you. This isn't the same. It doesn't feel the same. And that realization can be incredibly painful, because sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until we experience what it feels like without it. And this person is learning that lesson now. I also want to say something important. If you have been wondering whether this person is okay, I don't think they are. Not emotionally. There is a lot happening underneath the surface. They may look completely fine from the outside. They may post, they may socialize, they may laugh, they may act like nothing happened. But internally, there is a different story. They are not at peace. And I think that is why you may suddenly be thinking about them, why their name may be popping into your mind, why you may be dreaming about them, why you may be remembering old conversations. Sometimes when a connection has unfinished emotional business, you can feel that shift before you understand it. But please remember something. Their regret does not automatically mean you need to return. Their guilt does not become your responsibility. Their realization does not erase what happened. And their desire to come back does not mean you owe them another chance. That choice belongs to you, because you are the one who had to heal. You are the one who had to pick yourself up. You are the one who had to live through the confusion. You are the one who had to question your own worth after being blamed for things you didn't do. And now you get to decide what happens next. Not them. You. That is the real power coming through this reading. You are no longer waiting for someone else to tell you who you are. You already know. You no longer need everyone to believe your story. You know the truth. You no longer need this person to validate your experience. You have already validated it yourself by surviving it. And I think that is why your energy feels so much stronger than theirs right now. They are looking backward. You are looking forward. They are trying to fix the past. You are building the future. They are worrying about what people think. You are becoming more comfortable with who you are, and that difference is everything. I also feel that the truth is going to become more visible. Maybe it happens through a conversation. Maybe someone discovers something. Maybe someone finally asks the right question. Maybe this person admits something. Maybe another person realizes that what they were told doesn't make sense. However it happens, I feel that the narrative is shifting. People who once misunderstood you may begin to see you differently. And people who once believed this person may start questioning them. You don't have to force that process. You don't have to expose anyone. You don't have to chase justice. Let life handle what you no longer need to carry. Because sometimes the most powerful form of justice is simply living well. Being happy, being peaceful, being successful, being loved, and allowing the person who hurt you to watch you become everything they thought you couldn't become. There is one final message I want to leave you with. Don't believe everything you see or hear from me because I'm not okay. That message feels very significant because this person may still try to appear strong. They may still pretend that they don't care. They may still act as though they have moved on. But underneath that performance, they are struggling. They are scared. They are remembering. They are regretting. And they are realizing that the person they lost was not the villain in their story. You were the person they hurt. And those are two very different things. So if you have been waiting for the truth to come out, if you have been wondering whether people will eventually see what really happened, I feel that you should stop carrying that burden. You don't need to convince anyone. You don't need to fight for your reputation every single day. Your life is already becoming the evidence. Your healing is the evidence. Your peace is the evidence. Your growth is the evidence. And the people who are meant to understand will eventually understand. As for this person, they have a choice to make. They can continue hiding. They can continue protecting their ego. They can continue pretending that nothing happened. Or they can finally tell the truth. They can admit what they did. They can correct the lies. They can apologize. They can take responsibility. And only then can they begin to repair any of the damage they caused. Whether you allow them back into your life afterward, that is entirely up to you. Because forgiveness and reconciliation are not the same thing. You can forgive someone and still choose yourself. You can understand someone's pain and still decide they no longer belong in your future. You can wish someone well and still walk away. And honestly, for some of you, that may be exactly what this chapter is teaching you. You don't need revenge. You don't need an apology to validate your pain. You don't need their downfall to prove that you were right. You simply need to keep becoming the person you were always meant to be. And I think you're already doing that. You survived. You walked away. You kept going. And now you're becoming someone they can no longer reach with the same old version of themselves. That is your victory. Not watching them suffer. Not watching their reputation fall apart. But realizing that they no longer have the power to determine how you feel about yourself. So, if this reading resonated with you, take a moment tonight and remind yourself, I know my truth. I know my worth. I do not need to chase anyone for validation. What is meant to be revealed will be revealed. And what is meant for me will never require me to abandon myself to keep it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me tonight. If this reading resonated with your situation, let me know in the comments. You can simply leave a heart, a word, or even the date you found this reading. I always love seeing where these readings find you. And if you enjoyed this message, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps support the channel and lets me know that you want more readings like this. And if you're new here, subscribe and become part of our little community. There are so many more readings coming your way. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your peace, trust what you know deep down, And remember, you never have to chase the truth. The truth has a way of finding its way into the light. I'll see you in the next reading. Take care, beautiful.